Hi to all my friends that are raising chickens out there. Calcium is a must for your chickens for good quality egg production, as far as the shells being hard enough. There's nothing, you don't want to go out there in a chicken coop and pick up an egg and your fingernail actually go through the eggshell. That means they're lacking in calcium if that happens. Or if you wind up having a chicken that is laying a shellless egg. I've not had that one happen with any of my older chickens, but when my chickens were young and they first started laying eggs, I had that because their body didn't have enough calcium and they were learning to lay eggs. Their body was just trying to produce the eggs that they needed. And so I had some that was like rubbery, but when they get older and they start, laying on a regular basis, and you start noticing those eggshells are getting thin when you try to crack them, or like I said, when you go out there to the coop and your fingernail goes through one, not a good thing. That means that they really need some extra calcium. Some people use oyster shells. We've used that in the past. But to be honest with you guys, I'm trying to cut back on cost. For some of the, even like gardening things or chickens and like feed and things like that, trying to cut back on the cost of things. I went to get some oyster shells the other day and I noticed the price had went way up. So I was like, well, I'm going to try to give them back their own eggshells. And some people get concerned with that, that the chickens might actually start eating the eggs because of that. But honestly, I think it's because their body needs the calcium that they're craving, and that's when they start pecking at the eggshells. So one way to stop that is making sure you're giving them extra calcium, whether it's through oyster shells or, like I said, feeding back their own eggshells. So what I did earlier was I actually took the eggshells and I washed them really good and I laid them on a baking pan and put them in the oven at 350 degrees for like 10 minutes because you want to make sure you're sterilizing them and washing them off beforehand before you put them in there, like I said. So what I'm going to do is actually put them in this bowl and just take a wooden spoon and just crush them. Just bite-sized pieces is good enough. You don't have to make it into like a powder form or anything like that. But just good bite-sized pieces for them. Just like that, just little pieces. When I was feeding them the oyster shells, I noticed that the eggshells was really hard. Sometimes they're kind of hard to crack. So hopefully with this method, it'll help and maybe they gotta have that extra calcium. It's actually easy just to crack them with my hand and then crush them a little bit more. Might be a better way. Homestead. I baked them for like 10 minutes. On the website it said about 5 to 10. I just did 10 minutes. Make sure they were good and sterile. I want to make sure they're not too big. And how I'm going to feed it to them, I'm not going to mix it in with their actual feed. I'm just going to do it on the side, like in a separate bowl. I just don't want to mix it in with their feed, because they'll actually go to it if they need it. Just like with the oyster shells. Chickens are very smart. They know what their body needs. So it's just a good supplement to have on the side for them, to have that extra calcium in their system. And it's not something you need to do every day. Probably just a few times a month, just to have extra oyster shells or sterilized shells that you've done yourself. As you can see, they're not too big, very small. Just good bite-sized pieces for them. And if you find some bigger pieces, just take them and just break them apart. It's apart pretty easy. Yeah. Some people actually blend them in the blender. But I find this method just a little bit easier, less messy, less cleanup than trying to do it in a blender. So just remember, 350. 5 to 10 minutes in the oven, and supplement a few times a month or more. Depends on how big your flock is. So I hope this helps you guys. So extra calcium for your chickens. Please like and share and subscribe.